So someone who is very active in the tech community, one of my favorite pastimes is to research on startups, especially African startups and their founders, and just find out things about them, how they started, where they are right now, their journey, and literally anything I can find on the internet, right? And so I'm starting a new segment on my YouTube channel, which I'm calling Founders Connect, where I'm going to sit down with founders of a founder or a co-founder of a tech startup, precisely. In Africa for now, but who knows, right? This could take us everywhere around the world. I just get to sit down with founders of amazing startups who are doing amazing things already, who are raising lots of money already, who are, solving problems, real problems for real people, and learn about their journey, both as the person who is running this vision and the company itself and what it takes to actually build a successful startup in Africa. Now, it's my pleasure that the very first person I'm going to be interviewing on this segment is Atsu Davoh. And he's the guy who made Davido the first brand ambassador of a fintech company, right? So it's like super amazing. So, hey guys, please meet Atsu Davoh.
Hi guys.
Also,
what are your fans called? The Peace Army?
I just called them hi guys.
The Peace Corps.
The Peace Corps. Okay.
Peace Corps.
The
Peace Corps.
Interested. All right. So for the next say 30 minutes, I'm going to sit down with Atsu and we're going to learn everything that we can about him and about his company. So stay with me. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Itimi, a change maker, professional, and creative who is passionate about growing people and growing businesses. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and please always share my videos. It promises to always be impactful and insightful. All right, guys, so let's have this conversation with Atsu. First question, which is the cliche question. Who are you? How would you describe yourself?
I said no cliche questions. Anyway.
It's my channel and asking you the question.
All right. Sorry, Mom. So Atsu is basically a very simple guy, very curious, very passionate about tech, and very passionate about just trying to create things. I call myself the product guy because I just try to seize every opportunity I can get to create stuff.
Right.
So now I'm in tech, but
it could be something else.
You could see me in film 10 years from now. You could see me in art, whatever, a few years from now, because I'm just a product person. But my current project that I'm focused on now is called Bitsika.
Okay, we'll come into that. So now being in tech, what would you say was your first exposure to tech? What was that thing that really changed it for you?
All right, so I was lucky enough to go to college in America, right, in Minnesota. I went to a very small college called Carleton College. I really loved my time there. So I initially went to school to focus on media studies. Like I said, I was very curious about stuff like that. So I wanted to do media studies. But when I went to school, I became friends with a lot of international students from, mostly from China. And this might be a stereotype, but Chinese people really are good at tech and they love tech, very smart people. So because I made a lot of Chinese friends, the peer pressure of, having your friends do amazing things in tech, coding, that's what piqued my interest and I started. So, the peer pressure was very strong because when you hear that your friend got $10,000 working at Facebook over the summer, that can easily lead you to reassess your life goals. Yeah, so I think that was my first foray into tech. So just getting to about my second year in college, I started, skipping class to just start coding.
Right.
Like it just became so, I started coding just out of peer pressure. It just became so much fun for me. And I started skipping class just to focus on coding, and I ended up dropping out.
So what was that particular decision dropping out? What was the key trigger? Was it just that you had fun coding, or you at that time had an idea for a business, or what was it exactly?
Okay, the trigger I think was just feeling like I was wasting time. So I don't know how let's say Nigerian or Ghanaian universities work, but in American liberal arts universities, you are made to learn a wide range of things, right?
Right.
And this is a weird excuse, but Minnesota is also a very snowy place. So imagine, January walking through, a few miles of snow to go learn about the Iranian Revolution. Like, I don't want to do that. So it got to a point where I was like, nah, college sucks. Let me go back to Ghana. And it was a very crazy decision, because I know most Nigerian or Ghanaian kids would kill for that opportunity. And so I was very much aware that in some sense I may be throwing away like an opportunity. I was very much conscious of that.
But still didn't stop you.
But it didn't stop me. And I wouldn't say that I didn't have any fear. There was a lot of fear, because I felt like shit. I might, I might be.
It just might not work.
It just might not work. But I don't know. I was very scared, but I still.
Were your parents in Ghana?
I still went through. My parents are in Ghana. Yes.
So when you got back, how was the reception like?
So, in hindsight, I realized just how cool my parents are.
Oh yeah?
Because even when I told my friends I was coming back, that's always a staple question. What do your parents think?
Yeah. My mom will probably kill me. I sent you to America, you're coming back.
So, yeah, I sent to America, you are coming back. Yeah, so it was a lot of that. And it was also a lot of like, wait, what did you bring back from America kind of vibes? So the whole reality of my situation was not lost on me. I was like, yeah. And so I came back and I had to start from zero, but I came back because of I thought I had a fair shot in building an entrepreneurial career for myself.
Right.
And I envisioned that would be far more exciting than, going to college and, graduating and going to work somewhere.
Right. So did you have an idea then when you started, when you dropped out back to Ghana? Was there a business idea, or product idea that you started working on immediately?
Yeah. So I've had like 10 failed projects before Bitsika. But those are battle wounds that I really appreciate now. But so when I was coming to Ghana, I came with an idea that I had even partly coded up.
Okay.
Which was an idea for like electronic health records.
Okay.
So I was much younger then. You know how people in the prime of their youth, they're like, I'm going to change the world. Yeah, it was that kind of vibe of like, in Ghana they don't have electronic records in hospitals, so I'm coming to change it. Like that kind of energy. But I think once you're on the ground, you realize that things are more practical.
Yeah.
And things are not all fairy tales, and the world is made up of systems, and you're not just gonna come and change something.
Yeah.
You understand? The world is made up of systems, so you learn that the hard way and quickly enough. But I also had other apps. Like I had a debating social media app, an app that, like, I created this social media platform where you post a notion, people can agree or disagree. Comments, there'll be two sides of comments, like people who agree with what you've written, people who disagree.
So there were a lot of ideas.
There were a lot of ideas. I built like my own version of Slack. I called it Friday Camp. I built a lot of stuff.
Okay, so at what point, when you have this product idea, so like Friday Camp or the health records, and you start working on it, at what point do you stop and say, okay, it has failed, and then move on to the next idea?
So, okay, good question. But I think the whole momentum, the inspiration to keep trying, it came from the momentum I got from learning, becoming better at coding. That was what it was about. So let's say I built something, it failed. I'm like, oh yeah, I spent 4 months or 3 months building. That fucking sucks, but sorry for my language.
That's right.
That bloody sucks, but
Move
at
on.
least I got 5 times better at coding, or like I know all these technologies that I didn't know at first. And that was always my motivation. Every time I build something new, it's like, oh, I don't know how to code pagination, or I don't know how to code, live chat, or I don't know how to code notifications, or I don't know how to code this. So, okay, my next project needs those things. So that was always the motivation. Like the motivation came from that momentum of like,
I'm getting better at
yes,
coding.
my projects are failing every single one, but I'm loving this coding thing. I'm getting better at coding. And one time I even took a trip to Kenya.
Oh, okay.
So like how people take a trip to India to find themselves.
But you went to Kenya.
I went to Kenya
For how long?
Just for 3 months. just coding and hanging out with people.
Oh, okay.
I literally just took a plane, went to Kenya, just coding and hanging out. And it was.
And what did that change for you?
That was one of the best experiences of my life, actually. And I think everyone needs those kind of experiences of, just going on a pilgrimage, going somewhere different from
Where
you're used to. It really changed a lot. It broadened my scope. This sounds cringy and
Say it anyway.
it broadened my scope, made me more empathetic as a person because I met different kinds of people I wouldn't meet. I met so in Kenya, a lot of Middle Eastern people. I didn't even know this. That's why you need to travel. But a lot of Middle Eastern people come to Kenya to learn English.
Oh.
So a lot of black kids from Saudi Arabia, from Iraq, they come. So I met a lot of people like that. And you may have preconceived notion of people from different parts of the world. When you meet them, you're like, oh, these people are more normal than I am.
Right. Interesting. So at what point did the idea for Bitsika finally hit? What year, first of all?
So the idea for Bitsika, interestingly, Bitsika has been the name of 8 different projects. So it's a whole.
So it has evolved.
It's a series of.
Okay. Has it always been in fintech?
It's always been a fintech. It's always been Bitcoin based, hence the name.
Okay.
But so the idea for Bitsika came about in I think late 2017, Bitcoin had that boom, the all-time high, where everyone's mom started talking about Bitcoin. That was around the time I heard about Bitcoin when it became mainstream, actually.
Right.
At least I got involved with it when it became mainstream. So I think that was late 2017. That's when that excitement came. So at the beginning of late 2017 is when the Bitcoin boom happened. At the beginning of 2018, I was done with yet another failed project. So I was like, all right, what if I try this Bitcoin thing, right?
Okay.
And I think every time I build things I try to be strategic.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is at the time I was trying to come up, so I was like, can I build something that will be, sexy enough for an investor to contact? You get me? I always try to, because I'm like, okay, maybe whatever you're about to build might not change the world or whatever, but what if it takes you from
this level to the next level
to level 5, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'll build something cool. So I was like, okay, Bitcoin, whatever, decentralized money.
That's actually a very good point.
Yeah, decentralized money, blockchain, whatever. But okay, what if I could build it in a way that would make sense for Africa, and that way investors who think it's cool, people in the community who think it's cool. That was my goal. I wanted to finesse the whole thing.
To be sexy enough to get money.
Yes, that was my goal. Like, okay, yeah, I'm building a project, but I have my agenda, so you guys should relax. So I built a USSD. You know USSD?
Yeah.
So it's basically when you dial a short code.
Star
star 123 hash or whatever a short code is.
Yeah.
So I built a USSD system where you could buy Bitcoin and store it on your phone number.
Okay.
Instead of an actual Bitcoin address. So I think at the time, I don't know if someone had done it before. Even if someone had done it, definitely not in Africa, but even globally, that would have been maybe the first 3 times that was ever done.
Right.
Like someone trying to tie crypto to phone numbers in a very native way, right? So I built that, so I was learning on the job actually. So it's not like I spent several months learning about Bitcoin. No, it's just heard about Bitcoin, read, yeah. So the day I got that idea to build that, I started coding the next day. And that was, I think, I think people want to get in tech. If you think you're smart enough, you just try as much as you can to try and code, because it gives you a lot of privileges. You can have an idea and start coding the next hour if you want to. Yeah, so I built Bitsika within, I think, in 5 weeks or something.
Okay. That's that first version.
That first USSD version, 5 weeks. So it became more or less like a cool project, if you will. You understand? I was able to start talking to people. That was my first foray into the tech community.
Right.
I was able to start, getting
they give you an in.
An in, because they're there's a lot of hangers on in the tech community, people just roaming around without having nothing to do.
Yeah.
But I think because people always talk about networking, like, I'm going to this event to network. No, the best way to network
Is to have something that you're
is
bringing.
to have something that can seduce someone, for lack of a better word.
Okay.
So that's the best
Okay.
way to network. And so I had a product, and so anytime I met someone in the tech world,
You pitch
like,
it.
yeah, I have this app, and it's always like, the reception was always not like, okay, the reception was always like, wow, because wow, you Bitcoin to phone numbers, that's so cool. Like, it was a cool project, and I loved it for being that, and it was what it was. So I guess the breakthrough per se came when later that year. So I rode the wave. We got a few hundred users, whatever. We processed some transactions, but it wasn't like a consistent thing or a big thing. The real break came when so there's this guy called Yele Bademosi. He's a really cool guy, tall, handsome,
Always wearing black tees.
always wearing black tees. Yeah, so Yele DM'd me basically.
Oh, okay.
And at the time too, I had been seeing him around the tech Twitter or whatever. Like, oh, this is one of the cool people in the tech Twitter or whatever. And then he DM'd me. I was like, so ecstatic. Like, whoa, this guy DM'd me. And it was just he's just a class act. He was so humble, so genuinely interested. So how do I say it? Even just thinking of like trying to give you an opportunity. He was just so. He did everything right, basically.
Right.
And I guess him contacting me was sort of like the first big
And
break.
at the time when he contacted you, was it still the USSD product, or he had
It was
evolved?
the USSD product he saw.
Okay.
And that's what he was interested in. And so Yele contacted me on the auspices of him being a director for a program called Binance Labs.
Yeah.
So Binance is the biggest crypto company in the world. They
Yeah.
had like, I guess their version of Y Combinator, if I may put it that way. And he was the director for that. So he was basically trying to look for people to come to the program
Right.
and get funded. And I was lucky enough for him to see me. And then, so the rest is history. We ended up getting over 150K, $150,000 from him through Binance.
Right. So it wasn't Microtransaction that funded you; it was Binance.
Microtransaction actually funded me after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Yele always
He has
brags,
been rooting for you.
I'm a two-time investor in Bitsika. Yele cool down.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if at that time when you entered Binance Labs, it was still a USSD product. At what point did you then move to Cashapp for Africa?
All right, so I think when we went to Binance Lab, so I'm happy you asked. I want to say this. So we came to Nigeria, so that USSD thing worked in Ghana alone. So we came to Nigeria with that open eye, kind of like we're about to change things kind of vibe. And there was a rude awakening because we made a lot of assumptions that were just not true. So if you think about it, it's like the USSD thing worked because we had a USSD API in Ghana.
Right.
We had mobile money in
Ghana, yeah.
We had whatever telcos that are willing to give us the infrastructure. We had SMS APIs. You come to Nigeria and realize that, oh, so actually all African countries are not the same. Like, countries are actually different. That in Nigeria runs more on like banking systems than on telco mobile monies. And I don't know why I made that assumption, but I was like, oh yeah, Nigeria has mobile money, but it's not
It's not the same.
it's not the
Okay.
same. So you can't build the whole experience of USSD is supposed to be native.
Yeah.
You can't build that without mobile money. So it was a rude awakening, like, oh, the idea that we thought we were coming to expand to Nigeria,
It wasn't going to work.
it wasn't going to work. And secondly, to being funded, being given, coming from, let's say, almost zero, not necessarily zero, but almost zero to 150K at once at the time, it was like, you know, when you have such opportunity, you have to reassess yourself, like, is this the best use of this money?
Right.
Because at the beginning of your career, you build things based on the opportunities you have. So the USSD thing, I built it because that's what I had at the time. But I had to ask, the whole team had to ask ourselves that, now that we have this money, is this really what we should be doing, right? So we had an identity crisis for a while. We were the only company in the Binance program that didn't have like a product
Right.
A lot of people, so the other cool companies, I want to shout them out, Yellow Card, Rice, Raise actually they're called, and Zend.
Right.
All these companies came with products. They were, already
And you guys were still trying to figure it out.
Okay, what should we build? Like, it was that. And so there was that aggressive search for like an identity. What should we do? And so we went through a few iterations before getting to the Cashapp thing. We decided that, okay, still we want to be in crypto, right? So we came up with this idea for a charity platform where, okay, when the donations industry, when donations come from abroad to Africa, a lot of it is lost through corruption and middlemen and stuff. So what if we could use crypto to clear out those middlemen and get their money directly? So we built that platform as well. Again, it was just a cool project. There are a lot of cool projects, but you realize that now. So a lot of people encourage us that since you are using crypto to promote transparency and do transactions from charity organizations outside Africa, why restrict it to charity? Why just make it for everyone to use? So I actually met GitHub CEO Nat Friedman. I don't know if you know GitHub.
Yeah, I know GitHub.
You know GitHub. And another GitHub upper employee, Umojo. She's a Nigerian lady. Nat's a white guy. Umojo's a Nigerian. So when I met them, they were just so nice, wanting to learn about stuff we're doing. And what they told us was that you guys are following supply. Because when you build a charity app, you're at the mercy of someone's goodwill. If someone is feeling good that day and they want to donate, that's when you make a transaction. But if you follow the demand, where people actually want to make transactions by sheer will and necessity, if you build for that instead, you'll be on a higher road. So that's one of the biggest insights I got. Say you're building for supply, but build for demand. So that's when I came up with the idea that let's build a Cashapp for Africa. And that's the Bitsika app you see now.
Interesting. So that day when you said, okay, it's going to be Cashapp for Africa, how long has it been? A year plus?
So it's been actually exactly a year.
Exactly a year? Yeah. That's interesting. How far has it been?
So
what has been the biggest highs and the biggest lows?
All right. So I think we just made it a point to be as aggressive as possible.
Okay.
So I think Bitsika is made up of people who just worked very hard to get to where we are, and we really are aware of the opportunities we have. So we just try and work as hard as possible. We set out intentionally to grow aggressively and move aggressively. You don't get to a certain height by luck or by chance or by just falling into it. It has to come from sheer ambition, sheer aggression, and everyone at Bitsika has that aggression.
Right.
So in just a span of 12 months, we've been able to so we have over 80,000 users. We've processed over $30 million in transactions.
That's a lot.
We've signed up John Dumelo in Ghana. That's one of our biggest movie stars in Ghana. Joey B, one of our biggest rappers in Ghana, and Davido.
One of the biggest.
He's upcoming.
He's upcoming.
He's up. Hope he blows soon. So those three guys we've been able to sign those three ambassadors. We've been able to process transactions from a lot of countries.
Okay, so not just Ghana and Nigeria.
Not just Ghana. Ghana, Nigeria is the face, and that's what we try and promote. But with crypto, with card, with a lot of other features, someone from Grenada made a transaction.
Oh.
Someone from just weird places made transactions. So I think in terms of, and we'll be able to grow our team from myself and Sammy to over 30 people. And we're even going to expand more coming 2021.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so I think within a year,
it's been massive growth, aggressive growth.
Really proud of what we've done, and we've raised our seed round as well.
Of how much?
Of $1 million.
Amazing. So after the 150 from Binance,
so
and then you did another 1M.
No, so I think it's just, I think after the 150 from Binance, we raised like 900 and something. So together,
Everything is
it's
about
like 1,050,000 or something like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He has money. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so you mentioned a bit about your team. At what point did Sammy come into the whole picture?
Sammy was actually.
That's your co-founder and CEO. COO.
Yeah, he's our COO. Yeah, so Sammy actually, we went to high school together.
Okay.
So we've known each other since we were like 13 years old. And we literally, so all those failed projects, he's been part of all that. So he has as many battle wounds, hopefully, as I do. But he was always sort of like, he was part of every project, every single one that I did.
Why?
Why?
Yeah. Aside from like, are best friends, why exactly did you say,
No, I think to build a strong company, you need people who the ride or die kind of spirit. You need that for entrepreneurship, because you might meet a lot of people along the line who is like, oh, actually you're building something cool, and then 4 months of stress or 4 months of like things not going smoothly, it's like, nah, I'm gonna get a job. But Sammy literally quit his job to come,
build this with you,
yes,
or build the things that you guys try to build.
Yes, he quit his job to come do it. So it's like, you need people who are intelligent but also have that ride or die. So like I said, we've been through a lot. So that's why we don't take things for granted, and that's why we're extremely aggressive.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually a very great answer. Okay, so my next question is still about the team, right? What's your perspective on hiring? You say you guys have grown from just you and Sammy to over 30, and you're looking to employ more people next year.
Yeah.
So when you're hiring, what do you look out for, or what's the thought process that drives you picking your people?
Yeah.
To pick the kind of people
Yeah.
that are now that aggressive and that
Yeah.
passionate.
My hiring has been very informal.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know this, but when I need some, I'll just tweet, hey, I need PHP developers, send me the best ones. That's
I've seen a tweet like that.
You've seen it, yeah. That's what it's
I
quite.
saw one recently, you need a salesperson, and you just
I was like, hey, I need a salesperson, DM me. Like, that's what I usually do. But I think hiring the best people comes from two things.
Okay.
Having a good network and having money. And that is a fact. So don't and anyone who says anything is talking crap. You need a good network, and I think with building Bitsika, I've been able to build a good network of friends in the tech industry.
So they
for
can
myself.
always recommend really good
So they
people.
can always recommend, and even people just know us and what we're doing. So a lot of people know about Bitsika now, so it's like
They want to come work
they want to come work for you. Like, I'll get a lot of such requests. But money is also important in building a good team, because a good team
Money
is made
gets
up.
you good talent.
A good team is made up of good people. Good people have options. So it's more about, yes, can you pay them well, or can you compensate them well? That's like very much like a big factor of it. And that's something I even struggled with in the beginning. In the beginning, I was coding. I don't code anymore at Bitsika.
Of course.
I'm a boss now. But when we didn't have money, I was coding.
Now you have money.
So I'm not going to code it because I can focus on other stuff. And not just that, let me throw my pride to the side and say that the coders at Bitsika
are way better than you.
50 times better than what I was doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks for that answer. So let's talk about partnership with Davido. Because I was like you said, he's an upcoming guy. But not really. He's like one of the biggest stars in Africa.
Oh, you know him?
We all know him. Come on
Okay,
now.
sure. Sorry, David. That was a joke.
I mean, so when I don't think anybody expected it, except maybe your inner circle.
Yeah.
And I said, I was like, okay. And then I saw your tweet that day saying how your infrastructure crashed like 1 to 2 times, and you had to be like something else. How did it happen? That's the question. Like, how did you get Davido on the team?
No, so we had worked with John DeMello and Joey B in Ghana, like I said, and they've been very good at building our brand, because John DeMello is one of the biggest African movie stars.
Yeah.
Joey B, one of the coolest people in Ghana, rappers, whatever. Like, they are dope people with huge brands, huge cult followings. So they associating with the Bitsika brand, it did a lot for us.
Right.
So it's more about, of course, how do you replicate in Nigeria, which is the biggest market. And how dare me try and get the biggest fish in Nigeria, right? But there was a list of people on the table that we wanted to explore.
Okay.
But it became a thing of like go big or go home.
Aggressive again.
It became a thing of go big or go home. So aggressive again. So daring to be overly ambitious. I think that's where that kind of idea comes from. And it's not just about we wanting to work with Davido, but of course Davido is Davido. He gets a million requests of partnerships a year, right? But he was so excited about the product itself, and like I was very impressed by it. He's so curious about it, very excited about it. Like he was always, asking questions, wanting to know more. He has a huge love for tech, and so it was a mutual thing. We obviously wanted to work with him, but he too seen that vision, and and I can't say everything here, but he also has his own ideas of how we are going to push the app forward.
Right.
And it's like, whoa, like I want to work with, because Davido, you have to realize he has built the biggest social media brand in Africa. The biggest. He doesn't like to be called an influencer, but there's no influencer in Africa who has a bigger pool than him. And when someone is able to build something like that, you have to give them the credit for that. So he knows his shit. He knows what he's doing. So coming together to work with him is just.
So was it a thing of shooting your shot, or there was somebody that did connect, until you got to him?
No, it's not about shooting your shot. It's business. It's business. So I think we're at a level of a company where we processed $30 million. Like we're a decent company.
Yeah.
So it's about business relationships. Like we're going to keep announcing partnerships with people. We're a business. So Davido is also a businessman. So if you meet him and you're talking business. But there are a lot of people not just Davido on. So Davido is a part owner of Bitsika now.
Oh, okay.
On our board as well. But along with Atsu Davoh, his manager, and Bobo Ajudua, his lawyer.
Okay.
And my lead investor, Alkesh Chavrani. So we all came together to, it was to make this possible. It was a long time coming. It was a very lengthy negotiation.
I can imagine.
A very complicated legal process, but it's so worth it. Davido gave us 20,000 new users in one day.
Damn.
On the day
of the launch.
Yes, and our servers crashed. We could have gotten more. Our servers crashed for an hour. So we usually just use 2 big servers on AWS. But it's okay, Davido is coming. Let's put 10 servers so that it can accommodate him. But little did we know his reach.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so our 10 servers crashed. App was down for an hour. Then we came back with 20 servers.
So what next?
So we had to 10x our capacity to accommodate him. Yeah.
That 10x would be like 200?
No, 10x. So it was we're 2 servers.
Yeah.
Eventually had to get to 20 servers to fully accommodate his audience. And after
massive.
that, also all our numbers have gone up.
Of course.
Like transactions, unique users, volumes. Like it's just gone up from before he came. So and it's not just that. Like even these ones are not very interesting. What we have in store, like the ideas we have about how to make this big household name part of everyday life.
Is there any of those things that you can tell us?
I have competitors in Bando, in Abeg, which other apps are there? A lot of apps are competing.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Okay, so almost rounding up, I think my next question is what would you say is your biggest lesson so far in the last 4-ish years, right? Dropping out of school, starting from that electronic app down to all the way now. What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far?
My biggest lesson in life, I think, is about is about aggression. And aggression in terms of like just going blindly in the direction of what you want to do. I think that's like in African society, I think that's frowned upon a little bit. We are trained with by force humility or like, you know, suppression or fake, you know, humbleness or whatever. But I've learned that if you, so Elon Musk even talks about, you know, jumping into the abyss. Of, you know, blindly jumping into the abyss. And that's my biggest lesson. That if you can just close your eyes, jump into what you want to do, great things can happen. Like those, you know, there's a saying that the world will come together, conspire to help you. I think that's true. So that's my biggest lesson.
Also, I have 5 more questions for you, but you have to answer in like 2 seconds for each of them. Very light questions, going back to just
That's
about
it.
you. Yeah, just very, very light. Don't worry. Just fun questions. What's your favorite color? 2 seconds.
Yellow.
Favorite word?
Fuck.
Nice. What's your favorite food?
There's a Ghanaian food called banku and tilapia.
I know banku and tilapia.
Have you been to Ghana?
Yes, I have a couple of times actually.
Oh, okay, that's my favorite food. I can eat that every single day till I die.
So are you a milk before cereal or cereal before milk kind of person? Let me know if this interview is going to come out. So be careful what you say.
You put the cereal in a bowl and you pour the milk on it.
Yes! Chop knuckle.
People who do the opposite are serial killers.
Yes! Yes! And that's how I end this interview. So I don't ask you any other questions that I will have to take my chop knuckle back. But yes, cereal before milk. But thank you. That was like really amazing getting to know you and your journey so far. It's actually very, very inspiring. You know, because sometimes from the outside we see startups who are raising money, who are, you know, you're always putting out the transaction rates on Twitter. This and what seems like it's amazing, but we don't know what has happened behind the scenes. I would never have guessed that you've done like 10 different products before Bitsika, and like Bitsika has gone through like 8 different product variations. Yeah. It's amazing to think that. Also, the part about getting to Binance and having an identity crisis. It's very inspiring, and I think my favorite part is your biggest lesson, and it's one of the things that keep me going also, just knowing that if you focus on something and you say, I'm going to give it my all, literally the universe will conspire for you and will make sure that it actually happens. So it's just like, just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. So thank you for answering my questions, sitting with me, and also inspiring me. You know, do you have any last words for my audience?
Yeah, I'll just say you guys should be badasses and
be like him, be a badass.
cause a little trouble from time to time. That's my advice to you guys.
It's Peace Corp still.
Keep the peace though.
But just every now and then switch it up.
Cause a little trouble, like cause a little trouble sometimes. give them trouble. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Atsu, for sitting with me. Thank you so much if you stayed to watch this video. Please make sure that you share it, especially if you have friends in tech community. Anywhere, literally, share it. Also, check the Bitsika app and website. I'm going to put the link on the description button there. So if you've not downloaded it yet, download it. I'm promoting for you now, so in case you want to sign me. But hey, guys, make sure you check out the app if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the subscribe button now. And also turn on the bell notification button. My name is Itimi, and peace out.